Submarine is a 2010 coming-of-age comedy-drama film written and directed by Richard Ayoade. It is based on the 2008 novel of the same name by Joe Dunthorne. Oliver is a Welsh teenager navigating the complexities of adolescence. His initial focus is on forming a romantic connection with his spirited classmate Jordana. As his relationship develops, Oliver turns his attention to his troubled home life. His father, a withdrawn marine biologist, appears unable to stop Oliver's mother from being drawn to the questionable influence of a charismatic spiritual guru living nearby. All right, so I have watched Submarine, which is, I think it's a film that I've heard about, but I've never really gotten the opportunity to watch. But I mean, I'm so glad I've seen this film. It's an indie film, but it is beautiful. This was a really, really beautiful movie. It sort of, reminds me of Sing Street in a way. Sing Street was another beautiful film, another like indie classic sort of that also took place in the UK. This one takes place in Wales, of course. And I really, really like this film. Submarine is a very refreshingly authentic take on romance, and it's far from the typical rom-com formula. Of course, this is from the perspective of a 15-year-old, I believe. But I mean, it is just so authentic and real as well. Richard Ayoade, I think he is brilliant as a filmmaker. I don't know if I've ever seen him. I know he's an actor as well. I don't remember if I've seen him in a film, but I've definitely, heard his name before. And I love how he utilized his freedom away from, like the major studio influences that sort of permeate throughout Hollywood. And he allowed himself to go for creative risks in this film. I think he's a very, very unique and brilliant storyteller. This film also features one of the most accurate portrayals of teens I think I've seen on screen. It's so relatable and so grounded. Literally, like the opening of this film basically starts with Oliver, who's the protagonist, sort of like fantasizing how people around his school would react to his death. And I think that's pretty, I don't know, I found that sort of relatable in a kind of morbid way. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, he's a bit of a sociopath and he's kind of a dick at some points, but he is pretty grounded as well. Sort of like Holden Caulfield in a way. I really love how this film utilizes familiar and very unglamorous location shoots. I thought that also enhanced the realism and the sincerity of the relationships displayed on the screen. The cinematography and the editing, by far the editing too, are the standout elements. It also has a very distinct video log style, a video log style perspective that sort of draws the viewers into Oliver's world. And so I definitely love the editing techniques. This is a beautiful take, or like a beautiful choice, really. And I also love the introspective narrative that occurs in this film. Oliver sort of like narrates his own anecdotal journey throughout the film. Of course, it is adapted from a novel, but I'm glad they, I really appreciated the narration. Really gets you inside the character's brain in a way. And of course, I really love the eccentric visual style that this film has. It really added emotional depth and artistic flair. A lot of people have actually compared this film to one of Wes Anderson's works, or one of Wes Anderson's many works. And so I would say that's kind of a compliment. A lot of people think, he's trying to steal, sort of Wes Anderson's craft, but that's really not the case. I mean, I could see some similarities, but I think this is truly just a unique and original film. But yeah, I mean, this film, at the end of the day, I won't say it is flawless. I think the pacing is a bit odd at some points, especially towards like the beginning of the film, like towards like the first act. I found it a bit odd. But still, this is undeniably a hidden indie gem worth watching. This film is perfect to see on like a rainy, quiet afternoon. And yeah, I mean, it's just brilliant. I feel like I haven't given Richard Ayoade much credit as I should be right now, because I have to say the fact that this is a directorial debut is just mind-blowing. This is a very superb debut. And the screenplay too, I haven't even touched on the screenplay. The screenplay is wonderful. It is so good. I feel like as far as book adaptations go, they're not usually as wonderful as this one is. To be honest, I actually have not read the original Submarine novel, and I did actually see an online review saying that this film completely changed the plot from the book. And so if you read the book and then watched the film, you might be disappointed. However, if you watched the film first and then read the book, you would likely not be as disappointed. So, I mean, that does suck if, you know, maybe the plot is a huge contrast to what this film shows. But I mean, I'm a film buff, so I'm just watching this film by itself without having read its novel counterpart. And I have to say, I thought the film was wonderful. And so, going back to the screenplay, wonderful, humorous screenplay. The humor is just brilliant throughout the film. I think Richard Ayoade has such a very subtle, and I don't know if you call it like British humor, but it is so perfect at some points. It is so good. This is a really hilarious film. And I love, you know, I feel like sometimes dramedies are pretty difficult genre to like really master, because, you know, it's hard to like sort of balance two vastly different elements of a film. But I mean, Richard Ayoade just hits it on the nail. I think he's does this film and just like creates it brilliantly from start to finish. But yeah, and then Alex Turner, you know, the soundtrack for this film is also pretty good. And Alex Turner, who's one of the front man for Arctic Monkeys, he basically sings over some of the more like dramatic parts of the film. And I mean, honestly, I think he's one of the best songwriters of our generation. I do love Arctic Monkeys, and I think Alex Turner is a brilliant singer and writer. So it was lovely to really hear him throughout this film, and I think it was a perfect match for the tone of this film as well. So yeah, I mean, I really liked this film. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was wonderful. Of course, always gotta give much love to the indie films, no matter if, you know, if it's not. I will say, I think Submarine might be, especially because of the humor as well, it might be more of an acquired taste. I don't know if everybody will like it. Everybody who sees it will like it. But I happen to really like this film. And so I'm going to give Submarine an 8 out of 10. But yeah, I really love indie films. I love original films. I love unique storytelling. But yeah, anyways, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.